Good morning, everyone. I am doing a voiceover over this video because we had a technical glitch. So, good morning. Have you ever discovered that you would like to hit the ball farther and you'd be able to finish your golf round and not be in any pain, golfing longer for the rest of your life? Well, today we are going to work on mobility and strength, two key components that help you with those things, adding distance and playing longer and without any pain. Why mobility and strength? Well, mobility is the thing that helps you move in a full range of motion within your joint. Okay, so in order to bend your bicep, you can straighten it out and then you bend it in. So if you could only bend your bicep halfway, then you would only generate half the strength. So let me show you. If I only can straighten it out here and bring it up to here, how much power do you think that I'm going to generate in that short space? But if I can straighten my arm all the way down and flex it all the way up, I have a longer period of time to generate that power. Therefore, generating speed and being able to go faster. What about the ability to turn into your backswing? I had a fellow approach me the other day. Hey, coach, I want to hit the ball farther. Okay, let's see your swing. And this is as far as he could get with his backswing. And I said to him, well, you know what? If we can improve your backswing and we can get you swinging farther, that'll be able to generate more speed and you'll be able to go faster. So if we can get your backswing up to about here, you've got that much more space before you get to impact to generate the speed and therefore creating more distance. So there you go. Moving forward, we want to improve mobility. Well, what about strength? Strength is what gives you the control in that full range of movement to get your club up into your backswing and be able to hold it there while you initiate the downswing. And the strength is what allows you to generate that speed when you have a full range of motion and your mobility is really, really good. So, the combination of the two of them, that is just key to gaining more distance. And also, because you've got the mobility, you've got the strength, you're not going to put your body in positions that it can't handle and positions that it's going to try and compensate so that you end up injuring yourself and then you're, out of luck because you're not playing golf. So, today, I know. The other thing I wanted to tell you is, say you're sitting in your car and you want to reach around into your back seat and get something out of the back seat. If you don't have a good turn in your thoracic region or your upper back, just like you do in your golf swing, you're going to hurt yourself. How many times do you reach into the back and, oh my gosh, I just tweaked my back, hurt my neck. I just tried to reach for something in the back seat of the car. So mobility and strength isn't only going to help you in your golf game, but it's also going to help you in your life. So if you get fit for golf, you get fit for life. And that's a major thing that we're going to do. All right, today we are going to do some gluteus medius foam rolling. We're going to work on the internal rotation in our hips while we're sitting down and also on our hands and knees. We'll get into a frog position. Next, we're going to work on single leg hip thrusts because we need to develop strength in our glutes. We need a foam roller. We need some resistance bands. We need a couple of dumbbells and maybe a chair or a bench. Okay, let's start off with a foam roller. We're going to work on foam rolling our glute medius. Foam rolling is really great because it gets the blood flowing, works out any knots or kinks that you've got in those muscles because you've been doing that exercise. So get down on your foam roller, lean over on the right-hand side, and go back and forth probably about 5 times. If If you feel a sore spot, stay on that spot and just work it out. Change over to the left side. The other thing is, if you want to get a little bit more specific into the movement, if I am rolling on my left butt cheek, if I put my left foot on top of my right knee, that really isolates that muscle and allows you to find those sore spots that you can focus on. There we go. Roll back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Find those spots, search them out, and here we go. Okay. Moving that away, we're going to get into what we call loosening up our hips and doing some internal rotation. So sitting on your sitting bones, just drop one knee down, and that's going to work your internal rotation of your hip, which is when you go into, if you're a right-handed golfer, your right side, your right hip is where you turn into on your backswing. And if you're a left-handed golfer, it's your left. Also, in your follow-through, that's where you end up when you're finishing. You want to make sure that you sit nice and tall. Don't let your back arch to help you get into that position. You want to really keep your core tight. Roll from one side and to the other side. Okay, prop yourself up, sit nice and tall. Keep your core tight. Back and forth. And back and forth. Okay. You don't have to keep the sole of your foot on the ground. Just let your knee flop down to the inside. See if you can get it to the ground. Next, we're going to do frog position, contract and release. So if I go on my hands and my knees, I'm going to put my feet close together, my knees as wide apart as they can, and I'm going to squeeze my knees together for a count of 3. So 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. That contracting is then going to let you, when you sit back, it's going to let you get farther into your heels. So you're trying to push your butt back onto your heels. Squeeze in, 1, 2, 3, and then sit back, 2, 3. Come back up from the side. You have a look. Okay, you're going to squeeze 1, 2, 3, and then sit back, 1, 2, 3, and try and get your butt all the way back onto your heels. Keep your back nice and flat, 2, 3. Don't want to let your back arch. You want to keep it staying in the neutral position and sit back, 1, 2, 3, and sit up. Squeeze those knees together, 3, and sit back, 2, 3. Good stretch. We're really getting the blood moving in those hip joints. Takes a couple of minutes of movement for the synovial fluid in your joints to get flowing. If you want to sit back even farther, you can reach your hands out in front, get down nice and low, and then come up. All right. So yes, as I was saying, synovial fluid in your joints, that's the liquid that helps your joints move and glide really easily. And that's why we're doing this foam rolling and the internal hip rotations. Okay, get a bench, get a chair, put your shoulders on the back, okay? Walk your feet out. And you're going to put the weight all in the heel of your left foot. You're going to lift your right foot off the ground, and you're going to lift your hips up. So weight is in your heel, and push. And drop down, and push. We're isolating the glute muscles and the hamstrings using this exercise because the glutes are king of the golf swing. Shouldn't be feeling pain or arching in your back. Rotate and up, okay? No pain in your back. Don't let your back arch. If anything, you really want to feel the tenseness in your glute and squeeze. And make sure your back stays flat. Eyes are up at the ceiling. A couple more. And change legs. Okay. Going to switch over to the right foot now. Left leg is up. Go down. 2. You can always do this exercise too. If you don't have a bench or a chair to use, you can just put your shoulders on the ground. It's just a little bit harder in this position to do it. Keep that core braced. Press up in the heel of that floor, on the foot that's on the floor. And up. Okay. Why do we do one leg at a time? Because if you do them at the same time, the right foot and the left foot, inevitably one foot takes over. So you want to make sure you do one foot and then the other foot, because then you're isolating that muscle, one on one side and one on the other, making sure each one does the work. Okay, back into our cat and cow. Get on your hands and knees. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. You want this movement to come from your hips, not from your shoulders. So press down into the floor, keep your shoulders stable, and let your back arch, and then round. Really use your glutes to press. Don't use your shoulders to press up. Try and keep them flat and engaged. You're not pressing up through the floor and rounding your thoracic region. You really want your hips to do the work here. Really good workout for your core and for your glutes. Really tightening. Training that body, because when you get into impact position, this is actually what you want your hips to be doing. As you rotate through, you really want your core to be strong. Remember, don't let your shoulders round. Stay packed. Stay solid. Up and down. Up and down. Up. Squeeze with the glutes and down. If you can get a mirror, it's easy for you to take a look and see exactly what's going on in your shoulders. Now we're going to move on to the second set of our single leg hip thrusts. Shoulders up on the bench. Remember, weight in your heels. Okay. Get your core braced. Don't arch your back up like that when you're doing them. Make sure that you've got your hamstrings and your glutes firing. Your glutes are the king of the golf swing. You want to generate some speed. You want to generate some power and get that ball going farther off the tee, then this is what you got to work on. Okay? Weights in your heels. Eyes up at the ceiling. Up. Nice flat back. I'm going to do 10 reps of these. I haven't been counting for you. I apologize. We'll get going on the next ones. Okay? Up. Down. Okay, change legs. 1, 2, and 3. Go nice and level. Remember, if you don't have a chair, you can always use just the ground and just go up on your shoulders. But main thing is to use one leg at a time, because you want to isolate each glute muscle, the right and the left. If you do them with both feet together, you're going to find that one takes over subconsciously than the other, right? Okay, down on your hands and knees. Brace your shoulders. Going to flex your back. So use your glutes to really tighten. Look like a cat. Push, really tighten the glutes. Push up, shoulders stay flat. Your eyes stay looking down on the ground in front of you. Don't let the rounding happen in your thoracic region or your upper back. Really use your glutes, use your core. Bring those hips underneath you. Isolating the lower part of the body is what we're doing here, and creating that core strength so that you can stay in golf posture right through impact. Okay? All right. Next, we're going to move on to the strength part. Doing a rear lunge. You can use body weight or you can use dumbbells. Okay? So I'm going to stand sideways to you so you can see. I don't know, maybe my head will get cut off, but it doesn't look like it did. Okay, so you're going to step back. Go straight down. And back up again. Step forward and change legs. Step back. Straight down and back up again. So go back, tuck your butt underneath, knee goes straight down and you come back up. Alternate feet, those down and come back up. Okay, I'm going to face you now and show you. Okay, if you're struggling keeping your stability, so if I've got one foot behind the other, it's a really narrow base. So we're working not only on the strength, but also on the stability, because your hips have to keep you balanced. But if you struggle in this position, you're wobbling back and forth, step your foot out to the side so you create a wider base, and then you can go down and go up. This is a strength exercise. We can use it for mobility, but if you're struggling, staying stable, then put your feet wider, okay, until you get the hang of this and your muscles get used to keeping you stable and upright. Okay, so 10 reps on each, and put your weights down. Now, get out your heavy duty resistance band. So if you've got two of them, get both of them together. I'm using this one here. I've got it attached down low. I'm going to step through and put it up on my hip. So what we're going to do is mimic our golf swing now. And you're going to load into your backswing, and then you're going to push and follow through using your hip to drive, using that right leg. If you're a right-handed golfer, I'm going to shift it back up on my hips. If you're a right-handed golfer, you load into that right leg and finish and follow through. I'm going to do 5 of these. There's 3, 4, and 1 more. Really rotate into that trail leg and change sides. Okay, yes, we are going to do it left-handed as well. No, we're not becoming left-handed golfers, but you do have to work both sides. You need to stay balanced. So, left-handed golfer, you're loading into that left side, rotating down and following through. Whew! I had so much spring, I almost came off my feet. And finish. Good. Okay. Now, grab your dumbbells again. Not heavy ones, because we're going to get down on the floor and do a dumbbell floor press. We're really going to try and generate some speed with this movement. So lay down on your back, bend your knees, dumbbells out to your side. And the purpose here is you're going to start with them up in the air. You're going to go down slowly, and then you're going to push up quick. Down slowly, push up quick. You can see me, I almost come flying off the ground here. So we're generating some speed. We really want to push quick. Our central nervous system needs to be trained to go quickly. And that's what we want in our golf swing, is that explosive power. So power is that combination of speed and strength, and that's our end goal, right? 10 of those. Back to our rear-legged squats. Yeah, I'm getting warm here. My microphone's hanging down. I got all falling all apart. So take this moment as I get myself organized to grab yourself a drink of water, because we're halfway through and the real work is starting. Okay. Throw my coat off to the side. Woo! All right. Okay, grab your dumbbells. Rear lunge squat. Okay, 1 foot in front of the other or side by side. So we're going to go 10. So there's 1. Go straight down and straight back up again. So do body weight if that's what you can do. If you can do weights, then add some weight, because we are building strength. But if you're starting off doing these for the very first time, you're going to need to try it out with just body weight. Make sure the weight's in your heel, that front leg, and you're coming straight back up. Remember, from the front. Narrow stance if you're stable enough. If you're finding it difficult not to wobble, then spread your feet out. Down and up. Working those hip muscles, working those quads. All right, get your band ready. I'm going to move mine up a little bit because it was a little bit low on the ground. There we go. I don't want it falling off my hip, so slide through. Get yourself going here. This is a strength exercise, so don't be afraid to use 2 bands doubled up. Start a little bit farther away, right? So it's trying to pull you into that pole. You load up the inside of your right foot, turn and generate. Really push off with that right foot. Turn your hips. Bend that knee, turn into that side, and pivot. Okay, the last thing that should be coming into the finish there is your shoulders. Just like your golf swing, you initiate the movement with your lower body, and then just like a whip cracking, your club head comes through last. So, sorry about my rear end in your face here. Left-handed golfers, and yes, left-handed golfers, you got to go in both directions, and so do right-handed golfers. So we're going to go, make sure we're balanced. You can only accelerate what you can decelerate, so we've got to train our muscles going in both directions. Make sure we got a good set of brakes. Okay, grab your dumbbells again down on the floor for our dumbbell floor press. Okay, not really heavy weights because you want to be able to explode off the ground. So slowly lowering, and then exhale and poof, up in the air. Slow down and explode. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2 more. 9. Last one. And 10. Woo! Nicely done. Okay, get ready for your core work now. Attach your band up high because we're going to do half kneeling chops. So get a nice piece of foam if you have it, or fold up a yoga mat. Attach your band up high. And you're going to kneel down on one knee. So the knee that's going to be down, if I'm pulling from my left, I'm going to have my left knee up. Right knee is going to be down on the ground. Okay. Right knee down. Left knee is out in front of us at a 90-degree angle. Palms are facing down. I'm going to move it away so I have a bit of resistance here. Okay, your right glute is going to be tight. You want to make sure that you have a nice stable base. You're going to reach up, bring it to your chest, pivot, and push down. 3, 4, 5, 6. Core nice and tall. Stay tall. 8. Okay. The obliques on your right hand side is what you're working in this exercise, because you know what? That's what you're working when you're working on your golf swing. Change sides. So left knee is going to be down this time. We're pulling down to the left hand side. Right knee's out in front. Left glute is nice and tight. Standing nice and tall. Straight line from your knee to your shoulder. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last one. And 8. Okay, so guess what that movement is just like when you're at the top of your backswing and you're swinging down and coming through to your follow through. Okay. All right. Back 2. Down on the floor, we're going to do a side bridge, or a side plank, I mean. Elbow right underneath your shoulder. Your palm is flat on the ground. Your feet are stacked one on top of the other, and you're going to reach up and hold for 15 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. My timing's off. Palms flat, body's in a nice straight line, hips are off the ground, feet are stacked one on top of the other. Rotate again, back over, nice straight line. palms down on the ground, elbow under your shoulder, and rotate over to the other side. I can see from this angle I need to be straighter. Once again, it's a mirror. Sometimes it really helps if you film yourself. Stay up, keep your hips up and down. Good work. If you film yourself, you get a much better perspective about how you actually look. Okay. What we're going to do now is be in a plank position, and I'm going to I've attached my band way at the back there, and I'm going to go down on my hands and feet in a plank position. So I'm grabbing the band with my left hand. So I'm going to be holding my body up with my right hand. I'm going to straighten myself out in a plank position. And I'm going to reach under with my left hand and then pull the band through. So 10 of these. 1, 2, 3. You don't want to let your body rock around back and forth. You want to maintain that firm plank position. And then we're going to change sides. Okay. Flip over. Oh, got to get my jacket out of the way so I don't slip on the carpet. So grabbing onto the band with my right hand, down in plank position. Okay, going to reach through and up. So working on your core stability here, you're not allowing your body to rotate as you pull the band. Working on your thoracic or upper body rotation. Those muscles in your scapular region or your shoulder blade region, those need to be nice and strong so you can control your golf club and your backswing. Now we're going to go back to our half kneeling chops. Okay, we got 3 exercises for our core today, all involving some kind of rotation or anti-rotation. So palms are going to be facing down. Oop, flip that hand over. There we go. Okay, so reach up, palms down to your chest and push away. So you really want to make sure that that front knee stays stable and doesn't wobble. And your body is, right, front knee, keep it stable. Don't let it wobble in, don't let it wobble out. Nice straight line up your glutes. So your glutes on the right-hand side is nice and tight, and your obliques, the core muscles on the side of you, they're enabling you, the ones that help you turn. So we're training those. Keeping a nice stable base, using our bodies just to pivot around. Change sides. Left knee down. Okay, right knee out, no moving. Glute tight, straight line, stable front knee. Pull to our chest and push down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good job. Okay. Next we have our side bridge or side plank. And I'm going to do it facing you this time. Okay. Make sure your elbow is right underneath your shoulder. Feet are stacked one on top of the other. And press up. Hold. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And change. Excuse my rear end in your mirror. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. Feet stacked. Don't let your hips sag. Doing the second round is always a little bit harder because you've been working all of your glute muscles or your oblique muscles, your core muscles. Stay nice and straight. Embrace it. Keep breathing. Last turn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I went longer. And you're going to have to do 5 seconds extra. And down. Nicely done. Okay, get your cable ready. Last exercise. So we're going to do a plank now with a cable pull under. Going to reach out. Maintain that plank position. Don't let your body rotate as you bring the weight out. So I've got it in my left hand. I'm holding myself with my right body, using those muscles in my shoulder blade region. If you let your butt get up in the air, what happens is that your abs turn off. So if you keep your body straight, your abs are working really hard and you're getting the most of that movement and conditioning. You don't want your body to rotate. You want to have a good, strong core. This is a killer exercise and a great one for making that happen. Change sides. Got the cable in my right hand, propping up with my left. Okay, if you put your feet about shoulder width apart, that really helps you stay stable. Eight, 9. Oh, I'm getting tired. Oh, that must have been 10. All right. Good workout, everybody. And that's it for your workout this week. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. Chances are it is on the replay since I am doing a voiceover for this video. I've given you the mobility and strength, those two key components to help you hit it farther and golf longer without pain on the golf course. You want to be able to play and come off the course and not think that you can't keep playing golf. It is Motivation Month, and this week I've provided you keys and tips to stay motivated during these gray and cold weather. It's minus 20 outside. It's getting a little warmer, and now it's going to start snowing. Next week I have a home assessment we're going to do. I'm going to show you different exercises to assess how your mobility is, because if you don't have mobility, it's really difficult to develop the most of your strength. So it is going to be how well you can move your neck or your neck rotation, right? You need to be able to rotate. If you keep your eye on your ball, keep your eye on the ball and your shoulders turn, because if you can't stay there while your body's turning, you're never going to keep your eye on the ball, okay? The other rotation we're going to do is check out your thoracic rotation. So how much can you rotate, and, which enables you to get a bigger backswing and a better follow through. We are going to check the internal rotation of your hips. So when you are on your backswing, you need to, if you're a right-handed golfer, you turn into that right hip. That's called internal rotation, and your follow-through is into the left-hand side, and vice versa for left-handed golfers. And then the last one is, how well do you hip hinge? So the hip hinge is the beginning of your golf posture and a primary move in getting set up to initiate your swing at the very beginning. Okay? So that is what we're going to do next week. So we're going to have a home assessment, and then we'll work on exercises. I'll let you know what the pass and fail of those exercises is, and then we'll work on some exercises so that you can improve in all those areas. So thank you, golf. Thank you, everyone. I am Heather, your golf performance coach, and I'm reminding you to get out there and unlock your potential. That's all for me today, and I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye now.